All right. Well, welcome, Lisa. I'm very excited to have you today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's awesome.
No, after I asked you and I thought about it, I said, wow, what a perfect person to bring into the group, because all of the admins in this group were your students. And not only were they your students, we all met in the same class.
I know. It's amazing because so many people say to me, you're just the facilitator of connection. And in so many ways, when I do that with spirit, but I also do it with people as well. So they don't have to be dead. They're also living too. And always being that facilitator, it's awesome. I love it.
I'm very humbled about the experience you gave us. It changed my life completely and fully. I remember before your class, I just thought, is this the right path for you? Is this not the right path for you? And I think one of the things that I loved about you was that you don't sugarcoat anything. You gave us everything we needed, but you said the truth about mediumship. You said if there is...
Yep, I did. I think it's really important to actually not sugarcoat a thing because, it's like if you're going into something, if you want to be prepared for a particular career or a particular thing, you have to know the reality of it. You have to know the ins, the outs of it, the good, the bad. It's important because otherwise, if you're going to help other people, how can you help other people if you don't know the full extent of what you're getting into?
Absolutely. And I think one of the great parts to go further with that and how you did it for us was leave the ego out the door. Leave the ego in the parking lot. And also the fact that you made us name our ego. We were separate from the ego. Oh, there's a lag. Let's see here. Are you there? You guys, just hold on. She's in Lilydale, so she is on the Wi-Fi. We'll see here. There's a little lag. So I'll kind of keep expanding on what I was referring to until she gets back. And so Lisa made us name our ego. And the purpose of that was for us to be able to separate ourselves from the ego. Okay, so that we can say, hey, I know you're there and I know you serve a purpose, but I'm not you. I'm separate from you. So that was amazing. I think, and that's something that I've kept for myself and also for our students with me and Luann in the Soul Side Out course, is name the ego and separate from it. You don't have to be its enemy because it serves its purpose, right, guys? But you definitely have to say, I know your purpose, but I'm not you. All right. So when we took our class, it was here in Chicago and it was at the Sheridan. And in that class was me, Anthony, Lindsay, and Luann, along with many others and friendships that we had gained. So it was such a great experience for 6 days. My goodness, I was walking around like I was high off of wine and I don't drink. I just felt so open. And that's actually how me and Luann met, because Luann, I told Luann, are you feeling this? She's like, girl, your aura is wide open. Let me pull it in for you. I said, there's such thing. So she helped me with that. And that was amazing. And it was such a supportive class for us. And the first night was super exciting. So we went and we did bowling together. So we did something together. So we all got to know each other. And then she didn't tell us where we were going. And we ended up at a karaoke place. So it was her way, which is so intelligent, of getting the mic in our hands to take the platform, right? Because some of us were doing the platform portion of the class as well. So, oh my God, I remember being so nervous, but I did it and it was awesome. But what a brilliant way for her to bring the recognition of how it feels to be on the platform. And so that's what she would have done. And, every day when we got to class, we didn't know what was going to happen. We had no idea what was going to happen. Let me see if she's here. One moment. One moment here. Let's see if she is. She's not back yet, so I'm sure it's internet. So we'll give her a little time here. But every day we didn't know what we were going to do. And we're walking around, which was brilliant too, and I still have it. It's right here. A USB. So it's a USB, right? That she gave us. But you can record. So the one that she had for us, you carried it and you turned it on and it recorded your readings. And then she was going over the readings, which I still have the readings here from the class. And I love that. Let's see, is she still? One moment. Let me make sure I'm not missing her here. So she's probably logging back in, guys. Just bear with her. Let's see. Okay. And I remember being so nervous that I had this little thing. I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna hear me. But I was like, okay, just moving through it. We would walk in one day and you had, people lined up to do mini readings and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. Trust me, we went, it was nerve-wracking. I think towards the end of the last day, I was so nervous. I just was like, I can't do this. My stomach was sick. So trust me, everything that you guys are going through, I went through, Luann went through, Anthony went through, Lindsay went through, all of the admins that are in this group. We went through that place where you're at, whether you're beginner and intermediate. And at that time, I was definitely reading already. But actually, there she is. Okay, let me advance her. Promote to panelist. All right. And she'll be coming on right now, guys. So to be in the class was such a great experience because I was able then to be able to, hi Lisa, yay!
I'm in my office now. I'm sorry, I had to run upstairs to the hardwire. Ignore the mess.
That's okay. It doesn't look bad, Lisa. And I told them you're in Lilydale, so that's you're in the woods. You're like camping.
Oh my God, it is. It's so funny because you just have to kind of take it as it is. It is what it is.
Well, I was just telling them about what you did in our class when the first night when we went bowling and then you took us to karaoke.
Yep.
And put us on the platform. And I said, what a brilliant way to introduce us to the fact of was this going to be something that we would want to do or not? Because it is nerve-wracking and you don't have to be a platform medium to be a medium.
No, that's right.
Now I know that. And I said, wow, that was so intelligent of her to put us on the platform.
Yeah. It's important because I think throughout any of my courses, it's like from day one, even from the application form, I'm actually preparing you for the dedication and the commitment that you actually need to have with spirit. Because just filling out that application form, which I'm sure you remember is like 28 questions, and it's like, holy crap, it's all of this stuff. It's like, it's so extensive. But what it does is it shows me your commitment and your dedication to what you want to do and what you want to achieve. And full well that in this work, you have to be dedicated. You have to fully surrender to spirit. You have to let go. You have to be. There's so much that you have to do in this sense to actually be in this fully, entirely.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great topic to talk about, which you and I were talking before we started, was, okay, right now, perfect example. You walk in your office, you're like, oh my God, excuse a little bit of the mess. It doesn't look messy to me, Lisa. It doesn't at all. But it brings up, I understand that position because you're just coming off a weekend of being in an event.
Yep.
Okay. You're coming off a weekend of being in an event. And with this field and being a medium, it's not like, we come home, we put the suitcase to the side and we're done. It doesn't work that way.
No, never does. Never does. Yeah.
Because our physical body is now saying, what just happened?
I know. And it's funny because I actually said to my boyfriend, I said, hey, you're going to be trading me in for someone your age, because he's 6 years younger than me. And he said, no, I'm just slow. You're just catchy. You're just slowing down to me. He said, because you're a million miles an hour, Lisa. But because I had to be. For the last sort of 12 years since I've been in America, it's just been constant go, 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 go. And I do these events. So after your event that we did in Chicago, it was like I was hit by a train. You know, I'm like, oh, for like a day and a half afterwards. And I must admit, you know, you just do it. And yesterday, after doing an amazing event in Cincinnati and then driving 6 hours home, it was hard work. But, you know, you just get on. And the thing is, spirit doesn't stop. That's one of the things that people have to realize. Spirit doesn't stop. Your body naturally has to take care of itself, but spirit's still going in your ear. So you actually have to set boundaries, and this is what I taught all my students, is set boundaries. Tell spirit to go away and say, hey, I need a minute just to look after me. And when you can look after you, it's very important.
It's important. And I think, you know, let's talk about that a little bit, because I know that this is something that I really mention. And to be honest with you, I've gotten critiqued a little bit because some people say, well, you don't need an aura mist to be a medium. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm expressing. You know, I'm facing the reality, like you're talking real stuff right now. We're talking, okay, you want to do this work. We love it. We're passionate. Spirit's always going to be there. Spirit's always going to sustain us. They're going to love working with us. We're going to love working with them. But there has to be a balance, because the physical body can only be plugged in for so long before it drains.
Yeah, and it's right. The physical body, because it has to drain, it drains. And I will tell you, in my younger years, when I was a medium, and I wouldn't say I was just starting off, but I was really, it was just the thing that I did. I was kind of the only medium around where I lived in England. I just took on, you know, I was doing 20 to 25 clients a week, which was a lot. And my body just went, I'm sorry, we're putting you in hospital because you're not listening. And that's exactly what happened. My body just stopped, and I was put into hospital, and there was nothing I could do. And I just had to realize, hey, you know what? I've actually got to focus on me. I've got to set boundaries. So now it's really hard for me to set boundaries, because I always want to please. But I have great people. I have assistants. I have great staff who actually say to me, no, you're not doing it. Good. And it's great, you know. So I'm very thankful that I have a group of people that actually help,
that look out for you. And that's what I can. And you know, you see me, and you knew that from class. I remember when you called me, you said to tell me the results, was I certified or not? You were like, just so you know, the phone is really far from my ear right now.
I know. But I also remember when we did a platform event, and you weren't actually at the beginning there. You were like, oh my God, because you had something going on. And I remember walking in and me saying to you, hey, guess what? You're on the stage next. And you were like, oh my God. And that actually was perfect, because what happens is, you know full well, and it just proves to people that you can switch on and switch it off almost within a minute, just to prepare yourself, get yourself in that centered position, and then go on. And you rocked it. And so people have to realize that, yes, while you can switch it on and switch it off, you also have to have that moment just to prepare yourself, to center yourself. Because what we have is, we have life that goes on. Life goes on. Life goes on. Life happens for us. But we also need to sort of like get rid of life and then come back to center and kind of be in the presence of spirit. And that sometimes can be very, very hard. And people don't realize how hard that is. So I commend you on jumping in on that moment.
Thank you. And what happened was, my dad had a stroke a couple of days before, and I stayed in class. But my mom had called me that day, and she said, you know, I'm scared, I'm nervous. We're going home, and I'm so drained. And I'm like, that's fine. Don't worry. I made it till this point. I'll maybe take her class another time. So I go and I take him home, and everything is good. I pick up his medication, and I'm like, no, I got to call. And I remember messaging you guys, can I come back? Can I come back? Everything is good. And I remember taking a salt scrub. I'm like, okay, good. Just to come back to the energy. And at that point was when you said, I had no idea at all that I would, because I didn't even get to do the practice one on the platform. But thank you, because you had confidence in me. You didn't even see me do practice on the platform. You knew. You knew. And you said go. And that meant a lot to me. And I love platform now. I love platform. I love being up there.
Yeah, I noticed that you've done loads of stuff. You're with Andy Bing, and you've done Mavis Patilla and Tony Stockwell. So, you know, at the end of the day, you've always got to push yourself. You always have to. And this is the interesting thing is, although I have a school and although I have various different teachers and although I teach, I always say, go and get experience from various different teachers. You're going to pull something unique from each teacher. You're going to pull something that you'll remember from every single one. And just like you, just like Anthony, just like a lot of people, I am the first entrance to it. You know, I was the first entrance into mediumship for some of you. And now suddenly it's like you've gone off on your own different ways. And I can't tell you how proud I am. You know, the fact that you guys have just sort of like taken it and run with it and just gone, hey, I rock and here I am and this is what I do well. So I think it's awesome.
And it's like your children, like you said, mama bear, you would use that term. I'm the mama bear, you know? But I remember, girl, I remember we didn't know what was behind the door every day. I was like, oh my God.
I know, and I shut the door on you. I locked the door. I'm trying to turn this light on. I locked the door on you guys. It was so funny. I did. I locked the door. There we go. I've got some light on the situation. I locked the door and you guys were like, I can't believe you've locked the door. Because, and I don't know whether you got that group, but it was because I am one who always, again, back to that training, back to the fact that you cannot be late for a client. So if you're late for my class, I'm locking you out. And that's what happened.
I was in the group. I
I thought you were. Because I remember Mark David being in the group as well, and there was a group of you. But what impressed me, and I talk about this all the time. I actually share this story with everyone. That what impressed me is that you were all like this behind the door listening and doing the exercises in the corridor. You were doing the exercises in the corridor, and it showed me again back to that dedication. You could have sat in the coffee shop, you could have sat there and said, oh, screw her, we're just gonna have a coffee. But no, you, all 8 of you, were absolutely dedicated enough to actually do that. Because I remember coming out and looking, and I think it was you, it was actually saying, we're just doing the exercises out here. Oh, it was funny. Oh, I never forget it. And I tell my students that now. And, you know, I feel that it's so important. Again, it goes back to preparing you for everything that you're going to encounter. And also, it's funny because I do that now with my master teachers. If they're not in the room 5 minutes before class is due to start, I'll lock them out as well, because a teacher has to be there at least 10 minutes before the class. So it's just quite interesting. Yeah, you guys have set me up for many things, and I'm sure many of my students curse you all.
And it's funny, and also just the class itself, you know, I was telling them how you had us with the recorders, and you actually were listening to our readings. I mean, that's brilliant. It wasn't like you were like, all right, that person looks okay, or all right, I obviously you're working with spirit and you can feel it, right? Is this for somebody? But you actually had evidence, and I still have my recordings right here. I will never get rid of this. You gave this to us, and I think it was even more amazing because you send this to us and we're able to carry the experience here. And even look back, when I heard myself, I'm like, oh my God, where I was and where I am today, with the understanding of spirit, and how humbled I am that I know them and they know me in a different way. Because really the gift of mediumship is the blessings that come with the love that you're giving to both worlds, the healing of the spirit world and the healing here on earth. And that's something I didn't get, Lisa, for a long time in my mediumship, to be honest with you. I mean, I loved it. I knew I had a passion for it, but I couldn't say the words of what was happening, you know, taking place.
Yeah, and a lot of it is communication. A lot of it is just communication. A lot of it is making sure that you are able to verbalize what is going on. And it's funny because I was only saying this yesterday on stage. And, you know, spirit will communicate with you in many ways. And I just have to share this. And suddenly I went, I have a horse. I'm like, and there's me thinking, oh God, ground, open up, swallow me. This is like, what is doing? And then the funny thing was, is I started doing this with my hand and my foot. And then in the microphone, I went, and I'm like, oh my God. And this woman just laughed. And I'm thinking, it's having the confidence. And I didn't know how to verbalize this, so I kind of acted it out. And then I started swinging my hips like Elvis. And I said, I've got to give you the fact, Elvis. And she went, my God, my dad was an Elvis impersonator, and on stage he used to do this thing of a horse, and I'm thinking, how else am I supposed to communicate this? I can't have the words and the language to actually bring that forward. So let's just be an idiot. Let's just like act it out. But it was hilarious. But you have to actually bring this, what you're bringing through is you're bringing through the true essence of spirit. And if you've got to have fun. So, and actually, very, very naturally, I'm a very quiet person, a very shy person. But when I'm on stage, it's like spirit overtakes me and I become this, I don't know, this vessel. And all of this stuff comes out. And then you go from one reading, which is really funny, then to the next reading, which is so serious. And you have to, in a way, find the terminology, find the language. Sometimes you can act it out, and sometimes which is very evidential. I mean, that is super evidential. But then suddenly you have to find the compassion, the words, and you also have to take into consideration the rest of the audience. Because you can't just, I had a young child in the audience yesterday, and I had to find out where he was before I could actually start the reading, and if he had headphones on because he was watching a video. And because this guy specifically showed me how he took his own life. Yeah. And you know full well that if you say I've got suicide, 10 hands go up. And I had to specifically share the intimate details. And this couple were on the side, and I went from, the horsey one to this very deep and meaningful reading. It was crazy. But you also have to take into consideration how much the audience can take, and the language that you can use. You can't just come out and blurt out, oh, bleh. You have to also be aware of the audience. You may trigger someone in the audience, and it's kind of a big balancing act. So there's a lot of I wouldn't say pressure, but there's a lot of responsibility on a medium, certainly in a public demonstration circumstance, that you have to be very aware, very, very spatially aware, emotionally aware of everybody else, not just the person you're working with.
Sure, and that leads to my next question, because we're in the platform, right? We're talking about platform. Now, I can't imagine, Lisa, you on platform, because your audience is humongous. My biggest has been in Lilydale. So, and I was like breathing through the power that I was feeling. It was like, whoa, I really had to stay in my mediumship mind, is what I call it. I had to keep tugging back into my mediumship mind. Now, I can't imagine you. What has been your largest audience?
6,000 people.
Oh my God. How do you do it, Lisa? How do you place it if there's so many people? Because think about it, there'll be so many similarities to so many passings in that space.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, and so that's one of the reasons why I don't do what they call direct mediumship. So I don't say, you over there in the pink t-shirt, 4 rows back, middle row, whatever. I don't do that. Because, what I do is I get very, very specific stuff. So I can, in a small audience of maybe 50, I can say, listen, I've got the name John. He died of a heart attack. You're William. And I can give that. But in this situation, I remember one particularly. I actually said to a lady, I said, I have a gentleman here. I know he's your husband. I know that you are sitting there with a wallet of his, and I know that you have his credit card, and I know that you also have his driver's license. I also know that he passed with cancer, and I also know that he passed in whatever month it was. And that's very, very specific. And I also then went on to say, and then like 3 or 4 hands went up. And then I actually said to Spirit, I said, direct me. And what Spirit do to me is they give me sparkles above the top of the person's head. So I said, I know I'm in this sort of section. It was quite way back. It was actually in the sort of like further section. And I said, yes, it's you. So we got a microphone to her. And the beautiful thing is that we had a camera on me and a camera on the person and a split screen behind me. Now, I could have absolutely turned my back to the rest of the audience and looked at that screen, but I didn't. And I couldn't see her, you know, because she must have been about, I don't know, maybe 3,000 people back. And I said, can you do me a favor? Can you look in the wallet? There's something in the wallet that represents today. And she's like, I don't understand. I said, there's something in the wallet that represents today. She opened the wallet, and this was her husband who passed, I don't know, a year before. And in there was a tiny little piece of paper, like a tiny strip. I'm trying to find if there's just a tiny little strip that said, go and see Lisa Williams. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so you just get things like that. You know, you have to be very specific. You can kind of get the area, you know, and in a group of like 200 people, you get the area and you get the table, you get the row. But in a large audience like that, it's very, very difficult. And you just have to trust. You know, so many people want, so many people need, so many people are so very needy and somewhat desperate. And that's okay, because, I mean, we've all lost someone and where we get desperate to have that communication with them. But, you know, I always say 2 people can take one message. So if you can relate to it, but it doesn't fit hand in glove to you, but some of it does, take it as a message for you. So that's how we work. But yeah, it's kind of awesome. I love doing audience reading.
Oh yeah. And I always like, I high five Spirit. I'm like, yeah, good job. That was great.
Yeah, I know. And you know what it is? It's the intelligence of Spirit. It's actually Spirit that do it. It's not us. You know, Spirit have to push that to us. It's got nothing to do with us. We're just simply the vessel that make that happen.
And that makes sense. My God, that's so brilliant. Because I was like, how do you know? And that's my thing. I feel that's what I'm working on still. I want to read everybody in that platform, Lisa. I want to read everybody. I feel so bad that I can't, you know. But I mean, you know, I always intend that whatever messages come through can really touch everybody in the room, and that everybody can be lifted with the love in the room, you know, because either way, everybody will be lifted with the love in the room.
Definitely.
So that's brilliant. So what do you have going on now this year for 2018? What is going on in your world?
Oh my gosh. So next week, well, not next week, the week after, I'm in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to do a demonstration there. Then I'm also going off to the UK. So I'm working in Tony Stockwell's Soul Space in the UK. So we're doing a week there. We're doing forensic mediumship. We're doing advanced mediumship, various different things. I'm going up to Edinburgh. So I've got a month there, and then I'm going back to my hometown. I always like to play my hometown. It's awesome. Then afterwards I come back, and then it's Omega, straight into Omega for platform demonstrations and also advanced mediumship. And then the season starts in Lilydale, which, you know, I am vice president of Lilydale, which I'm very, very proud to be. I live in Lilydale, hence where I'm at.
I didn't know that. Good for you. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm vice president, so that's awesome. So then I'll be teaching, again, platform mediumship, advanced mediumship, trance, and also forensics. And then I'm off to Australia. I've got master teacher plonked in September, and then I'm off to Australia. So there's a lot going on, and I've just finished my new book, and that will be out in October. So I've got a lot of stuff happening, as well as obviously helping with Lilydale and running my own school. So it's kind of crazy. It's good. My son's 18 next week. Can you believe it?
I saw his picture. He's so handsome.
Oh my God. He's, you know, and then now I've got a daughter as well. So she's just come along, you know, out of the blue a year ago, where 15, her mom passed away, and here I am with a 15-year-old daughter.
Oh, I didn't know that, Lisa. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that it's just, you know, carrying family life is awesome. I've got to tell you, my family life is awesome. It's fabulous. Finally, everything's just sort of working in the way it is. And I think a lot of it is actually surrendering to Spirit, surrendering into the way it's meant to be, not pushing, not forcing, not questioning, just going, here I am, take me on the ride. And that's it.
no matter what's going on. And I think that that's another big thing, you know, when we're going through hard times in our lives, pushing through this and really staying motivated in this work, it lifts us back up. It recharges us. You know, some people feel like, I can't do this. This is too overwhelming. How am I supposed to do this and still be a mom or a wife? But for me, and I can see that for you, it is our motivation. It is our light. Although we need balance, we can't be on one side more than the other, but it does lift me up. And when I am going through hard times, I go right to it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give away a reading. Is anybody, you know?
That's it. You know, I always say whenever my darkest moments have come, and I remember a few years ago, I split up with this guy. You know, it was a crazy, crazy time. And I was in this little secret Facebook group. And I just immediately went, okay, send me the pictures of you and your men and I'll just do a quick reading on you. And because I needed to turn to spirit, I needed to go to something that was so solid in my life, something I could do, something that was very natural within me without even thinking about my own stuff. Because when we start thinking about our own stuff, we get churn it around. But when we're thinking about someone else and we just surrender into that space of spirit, it's so much easier.
Absolutely. And I like to thank you so much. And I'm hoping that maybe we can do something online. I know you're extremely busy, but I have students that are very excited to work with you, or even come out to Chicago, Lisa, maybe a 4-day intensive in 2019.
I would love that.
Reach out to me. I'll coordinate it. I have Paul Jacobs coming in March. I'm excited about that. So I would love to have you. You were my teacher, and I would love for other people to really gain what you gave me, because that is why I'm where I'm at today. Obviously, I would have made those decisions, but you were that strong factor for me that said, you know what, if you, Lisa, told me you are indeed a medium and you took the time to really listen to my readings, and I felt confident about the teacher that you were, it helped me to proceed that way as well, and now to teach as well. You know, I think I'm the biggest student in every class, Lisa.
You know, that's the thing. I always say, even though we are the teachers, we're still learning. And I'm actually going to be in Chicago in June because I'm doing Celebrate Your Life.
I saw that. So
I'm doing Celebrate Your Life, which will be fun. So, you know, if I've got time, maybe we can have a drink and stuff and discuss the plans ahead.
Yay! I love that. Students are excited. They're very excited. I talk about you all the time. You know, I say, hey, this is the person. And you always be that wonderful person. I also tell people, you know, it's good to, obviously, I say the same thing you do, Lisa, to be with different teachers. What you gave me was so different than what I get from Mavis, or so different than what I get even when I sat with Tony, because I am very sensitive to trance. So what I got from him was emerging, and the little bits that you take is so brilliant because it really complements your soul.
Yeah, it does.
Look at everything that you've done. Another thing is, I have students that are starting to want to do forensics. So do you have a class on that?
Yeah, that's actually one of my passions. I teach forensics. I'm teaching it in Lilydale this year. I have limited the amount of people that I can take on. But now I have a space that is local to here. So I actually have my own space.
Okay.
And so, you know, if you want me to come to your place and teach forensics, I'm quite happy to.
I would love it. I have students that are really into that. And I'm like, who is it? And then I remember, now that you said it earlier, that I saw it on your site.
Yeah.
So we can definitely talk about that. I don't know how many, but I mean, even if it wasn't a big number, we can work on, maybe it could be something online, and then we can do it every year so it'll grow, because I know it'll grow here in Chicago. There's a lot of people that want that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm open to it. I'm completely open to whatever.
I love it.
I always have this philosophy: just say yes, and see where it leads you. And you know, you never know. I mean, here I am in Lilydale. I had no, you know, living in America or living in England, I had no idea that here I would be and this would be my life. But it's because I've just gone with the opportunities that have been presented to me. People ask me to do things. I'm like, sure, I'll do it. You know, because I feel like all I'm doing is the ripple effect. All I'm doing is dropping, you know, a stone in the pond, and it's just rippling out, and it's touching the people that it needs to touch. So that's how I always look at things.
Yeah, I mean, me and Luann, we met in your class, and we've been teaching for 3 years together.
Oh, look at you, I know.
So Anthony and Lindsay, they're amazing. And, you know, I'll contact them. Hey, what do you think about this? And we've kept that friendship. So we're proof of that for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited, you know, and I would love to teach in Lilydale one day. I really would. I love the energy, and I would really like to come out and really feel what it is to be, you know, in that energy and teach. I think you'll be like,
well, you know what? I'm just going to say submit an application. So application forms need to be in by July 1st. For the 2019 schedule. So submit it, and we put it towards the board, we put it towards the workshop committee, and then we decide on it, and then obviously we get the ball rolling. But, you know, come out to Lilydale. It's awesome. I love Lilydale.
I do. I love it as well. So everybody, go on Lisa's site. What is your website, Lisa, if people are interested in your classes now or anything that you are offering?
So you can go to lisawilliams.com, and then off there you'll see all my courses, or it's lwissd.com. So either way, you can get to wherever I'm teaching.
Awesome. Brilliant. Guys, you know, it is an honor to have her here. I hope that you guys can also do this eventually. Come back and talk to the teacher that really brought you to your life's purpose and your passion. And, you know, what you have given me, there's no words really, because I feel myself less anxiety. I could sleep. You know, my home is as more humble because of the changes in me. So Lisa, keep on doing what you're doing. You're an amazing soul. When you come to Chicago, please message me. I'll give you my phone number, the same one. We can meet up and we can talk about collaboration for you to come back in 2019, because I know that I can fill a classroom for you. So let's come on and let's do it.
All right. Awesome. Let's do it.
Thank you so much. And if you need anything at all, let me know. I'm here always. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye for now, Lisa. Bye, everybody.